In the bustling cafeteria of Lincoln High School in suburban Chicago, where the air smelled of greasy fries and teenage angst, young Riot felt the weight of 100 stares as he sat alone at a corner table. It was 2005, and whispers had turned into outright taunts after a rumor spread that he was gay. Whispers started by none other than Jake Harlan, the star quarterback with a chip on his shoulder bigger than his ego. On that fateful lunch period, Jake dumped a tray of cafeteria slop, mashed potatoes mixed with mystery meat and spilled milk, right onto Riot's lap, yelling, "That's what you get for being a freak." Riot froze, the cold mess seeping through his jeans, while laughter erupted around him like fireworks. He didn't fight back. Instead, he wiped his face with a trembling hand, his heart pounding not just from humiliation but from the fear that this was only the beginning. That night, alone in his room, Riot confided in his journal about the crush he had on a quiet boy in his art class named Ryan, wondering if love was worth the pain society seemed determined to inflict. The bullying escalated over the months. Jake and his cronies cornered Riot in hallways, scrawling slurs on his locker and spreading vicious lies that isolated him further. Riot's parents, devout Midwestern conservatives, dismissed his pleas for help, urging him to toughen up and pray away whatever phase this was. But in the shadows of that torment, a spark ignited when Ryan approached him after class one day. "I saw what happened," Ryan whispered, his eyes full of empathy. "You're not alone." Their friendship blossomed in secret meetings at the local park, where they shared sketches and dreams, and eventually, a tentative first kiss under the autumn leaves. Yet societal pressures loomed large. Ryan's family was even more rigid. His father, a pastor, preached against unnatural lifestyles every Sunday. When word got out about their relationship, thanks to Jake's relentless spying, Ryan faced an ultimatum: end it or be disowned. Riot, heartbroken, watched as Ryan chose family over love, leaving him to navigate the final year of high school in utter solitude. The climax of the abuse came during prom season when Jake orchestrated a prank that involved fake invitations and public rejection, solidifying Riot's resolve to escape this town as soon as graduation hit. Graduation day arrived like a lifeline. Riot packed his bags for college in New York City, vowing never to look back. But the scars lingered. Therapy sessions revealed deep-seated trauma from the bullying, compounded by the loss of his first love. In the vibrant streets of Manhattan, Riot reinvented himself, majoring in culinary arts at a prestigious institute. Food became his therapy, creating dishes that nourished not just bodies but souls. He met diverse people, including mentors who encouraged his openness about his identity, helping him build a community where he felt seen. Years flew by, and by 2012, Riot had opened his own small diner in Brooklyn called Second Chances, a cozy spot known for hearty meals and a welcoming vibe. It was there he reconnected with parts of his past, but nothing prepared him for the day a familiar face walked in. Not Jake, but a teenage boy who bore an uncanny resemblance. Tousled hair, sharp jawline. The kid ordered a burger, looking down on his luck, and Riot overheard him on the phone. "Dad, I can't come home. Not after what I told you." Intrigued and cautious, Riot struck up a conversation. The boy's name was Tyler Harlan, Jake's son. Tyler confessed he was gay and had just come out to his father, who reacted with rage, echoing the prejudices of old. Riot's heart twisted. History was repeating itself. He offered Tyler a free meal and a listening ear, sharing snippets of his own story without revealing the connection. Tyler returned often, finding solace in the diner, and Riot grappled with the irony. Feeding the son of his tormentor, wondering if this was fate's cruel joke or a chance for redemption. As their bond grew, Riot faced internal conflict. Should he reveal the truth? Society's evolving views on LGBTQ+ rights clashed with personal grudges. Marriage equality was on the horizon, but old wounds festered. One evening, Tyler brought a friend, a budding romance, and Riot saw echoes of his own lost love with Ryan. It stirred emotions long buried, prompting him to reach out to Ryan via social media after years of silence. Ryan, now living in California, responded with surprise and regret. They video chatted, rekindling a friendship laced with what-ifs. Ryan had married a woman to appease his family but was divorced now, exploring his true self. Riot shared about Tyler, and Ryan urged forgiveness. People change. Riot? Maybe Jake has too. But Riot wasn't so sure. Reports from old classmates painted Jake as a bitter man, stuck in the same town, coaching football with outdated views. The drama intensified when Jake himself showed up at the diner one weekend, dragged there by Tyler in a bid for reconciliation. Jake's face paled upon recognizing Riot, the successful owner serving families with pride flags subtly displayed. "You," Jake muttered, disbelief turning to defensiveness. Tyler, unaware of the history, pushed for his dad to apologize for kicking him out. Riot stood silent, the power dynamic flipped. In that charged moment, Riot chose words over revenge. "I know what it's like to be rejected for who you are," he said calmly. "Your son deserves better than what you gave me back then." Jake stormed out, but seeds were planted. Over the following weeks, Tyler mediated tense conversations, forcing Jake to confront his past actions. Society's shifting norms, protests for equality, celebrity coming-outs, mirrored the personal battles, creating debates among Riot's friends. Was helping Tyler enabling Jake's unchanged bigotry? Riot's relationship with Ryan deepened through visits, evolving into a cautious romance. They attended Pride events together, symbolizing healing, but not without arguments. Ryan pushed for full forgiveness, while Riot argued that accountability mattered more. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting, Riot insisted, highlighting the ongoing struggles of queer youth in conservative pockets of America. High school reunions loomed, pulling Riot back to Chicago. He attended reluctantly, with Ryan by his side, facing Jake in a public setting. Whispers turned to admiration for Riot's success, but Jake approached with a grudging apology. "I was wrong. Tyler made me see that." Riot accepted it warily, but the real test came when Tyler faced bullying at his own school, echoing Riot's past. Riot mentored him, turning pain into purpose. As the years progressed, Riot's Diner became a haven for at-risk LGBTQ+ youth, funded partly by donations from reformed allies like Jake, who slowly evolved through therapy and exposure. Yet, controversies arose. Some accused Riot of being too lenient, arguing that true justice demanded confrontation, not quiet aid. Others praised his compassion as the ultimate victory. In quiet moments, Riot reflected on choices, loving despite fear, forgiving without erasure. Ryan proposed one sunset evening in Brooklyn, and Riot said yes, their wedding a celebration of resilience. Tyler stood as best man, Jake in attendance, a fragile family forged from fractures. But was Jake's change genuine, or merely performative to keep his son? Society debated similar stories in media, questioning redemption arcs for former bigots. Riot wondered if his path empowered or excused the past. The wedding was a modest affair in a Brooklyn park, surrounded by friends who'd become family. Riot and Ryan exchanged vows under a canopy of blooming cherry blossoms, promising to honor the journeys that led them here. Tyler, now 18, gave a toast that brought tears. "You showed me love isn't about perfection. It's about showing up." Jake sat in the back row, uncomfortable but present, a far cry from the bully who'd once wielded power like a weapon. Post-honeymoon, life settled into a rhythm. Riot expanded second chances into a chain of diners across the Northeast, each one a safe space with resources for queer individuals. Media picked up his story, an underdog-turned entrepreneur, leading to interviews where he spoke candidly about bullying's long-term effects. "It's not just the act, it's the silence that follows," he told a podcast host, sparking online debates about school policies and parental responsibility. Tyler thrived under Riot's guidance, enrolling in college for social work, determined to help others like him. But tension simmered when Jake relapsed into old habits during a family dinner. "I don't get all this pride stuff," Jake grumbled. Eyeing Ryan and Riot's held hands. Tyler exploded. "You don't get it because you caused it." Riot intervened, advocating dialogue over division, but inside, doubt gnawed. Was he enabling complacency by keeping the peace? Societal conflicts mirrored this personal drama. In 2015, as the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage nationwide, celebrations clashed with backlash. Riot's diners faced protests from conservative groups, labeling them indoctrination hubs. One night, vandals smashed a window, scrawling hate speech that echoed his high school locker. Ryan wanted to press charges aggressively, but Riot opted for community forums, inviting detractors to talk. Hate thrives in echo chambers, he argued, though friends called it naive. A turning point came when Tyler brought home his first boyfriend, a fellow student named Miguel. Jake's initial discomfort boiled over into a heated argument, accusing Tyler of flaunting it. Riot, witnessing via video call, felt the old rage resurface. He flew to Chicago, confronting Jake directly. "You hurt me, and now you're hurting your son. When does it end?" Jake broke down, admitting his fears stemmed from his own repressed feelings, a revelation that added layers to his bullying past. Therapy sessions followed, family ones included, uncovering generational trauma. Jake's father had been abusive, instilling toxic masculinity that Jake passed down unwittingly. Riot empathized, but drew boundaries. Understanding doesn't excuse action. This nuance fueled public discourse. Riot's op-ed in a national paper titled, "Forgiving the Bully," a queer perspective, went viral, dividing opinions. Some hailed it as progressive, others as forgiving too easily, especially amid rising anti-LGBTQ+ legislation in states like Florida. Ryan supported Riot but worried about the toll. "You're carrying everyone's burden," he said during a late-night talk. Their relationship faced strains. Ryan's lingering guilt over abandoning Riot in high school led to insecurities. They argued about priorities. Ryan wanted a quieter life, while Riot's activism pulled him into the spotlight. A particularly raw fight ended with Ryan storming out, only to return with apologies and a renewed commitment. Meanwhile, Tyler's advocacy work intersected with Riot's when they co-founded a nonprofit for bullied queer teens. A high-profile case involved a kid from Lincoln High facing similar torments. Riot returned to his alma mater as a speaker, facing skeptical administrators. Jake joined him unexpectedly, sharing his regrets publicly for the first time. The event trended on social media, with hashtags like Redeem the Bully sparking heated threads. Can bullies really change, or is it PR? Personal growth intertwined with romance. Riot and Ryan adopted a rescue dog, symbolizing their built family, and planned a trip to Europe, a dream deferred from youth. But controversy struck when a former classmate leaked old photos of Jake's pranks, accusing Riot of hypocrisy for associating with him. Riot defended his choice. Redemption isn't linear. It's messy. The backlash tested alliances, with some donors pulling support from the nonprofit. Through it all, Riot's emotional core strengthened. He journaled again, processing choices that defined him, not as victim but as architect of change. Ryan's love anchored him, their intimacy a quiet rebellion against past rejections. As 2020 approached, global events like the pandemic amplified isolation, making their bonds more vital. Yet, questions lingered. In a society quick to cancel, where did grace fit? Riot pondered this while feeding homeless youth at the diner, including one who reminded him of young Tyler. The pandemic hit like a storm, forcing second chances to pivot to takeout and community aid. Riot transformed his diners into food banks, prioritizing LGBTQ+ families hit hardest by job losses. Ryan, a graphic designer, worked remotely, their home a hub of Zoom calls and mask deliveries. Tyler, back from college virtually, helped coordinate, his relationship with Miguel deepening amid quarantine intimacy. Jake, laid off from coaching, reached out for help, ironically needing the very support his son once did. Riot provided groceries anonymously at first, but Tyler insisted on transparency. "Dad needs to see who he's relying on," Tyler said. The delivery confrontation was tense. Jake accepted the bags with mumbled thanks, eyes avoiding Riot's. Later, Jake volunteered at the diner, a small step toward amends, but whispers among staff questioned his motives. Societal rifts widened. Black Lives Matter protests intersected with pride, highlighting intersectional struggles. Riot marched with Ryan, banners high, while Jake watched from afar, grappling with his privileges. A family video call turned debate. Jake defended traditional values, clashing with Tyler's activism. Riot mediated, but frustration built. How much change was enough? Post-vaccine, life resumed with scars. Riot's business boomed, featured in magazines as a beacon of resilience. But a new conflict arose when Tyler discovered old emails from Jake's high school days, boasting about bullying Riot. "How can you forgive this?" Tyler demanded. Riot admitted the pain but emphasized growth. "Holding hate poisons us more." This sparked a rift. Tyler distanced himself temporarily, testing family ties. Ryan and Riot's marriage hit a rough patch. Ryan, dealing with his own coming-out trauma, felt Riot prioritized others over them. "When do we get our happy ending?" he asked tearfully. Counseling helped, revealing Riot's savior complex stemmed from unresolved bullying. They recommitted, planning a vow renewal. Jake's evolution continued unevenly. He attended a PFLAG meeting, sharing his story, earning cautious applause. But at a town hall on school inclusivity, he hesitated on supporting gender-neutral bathrooms, drawing criticism. Riot challenged him privately. "Words mean nothing without action." Jake committed to advocacy, co-authoring a blog post with Tyler on parental acceptance. Controversies peaked when a documentary crew approached Riot for a film on his journey. Including Jake's arc divided the team. Some saw it as redemptive, others as glorifying a bully. Social media erupted. Why give platforms to oppressors? Riot defended the nuance, arguing visibility fostered change, but lost followers. Personally, Riot reconnected with high school acquaintances, some apologetic, others defensive. One, a former friend of Jake's, revealed Jake had questioned his own sexuality back then, projecting insecurity. This added complexity, humanizing Jake without excusing him. As 2023 dawned, Tyler graduated, proposing to Miguel at the diner. Jake walked Tyler down the aisle, a poignant moment. Riot officiated, emotions raw. But post-wedding, a heated discussion arose. Jake voted conservatively in local elections, supporting candidates with anti-LGBTQ+ stances. "It's about economy," he claimed. Tyler cut ties briefly, forcing Riot to choose sides. Riot navigated delicately, advocating reconciliation while upholding principles. "Love demands accountability," he told Ryan, who agreed. The family reunited for therapy, unearthing deeper issues, Jake's childhood abuse mirroring patterns. Amid this, Riot's health faltered from stress. A minor heart scare prompted reflection. Ryan cared for him, their bond unbreakable. Society's debates raged on, with laws fluctuating, bans on trans youth sports contrasting marriage protections. Riot wondered, in pursuing forgiveness, had he compromised justice? The question haunted him as he mentored more youth, each story a reminder of ongoing fights. Recovery brought clarity. Riot scaled back activism, focusing on his marriage and business. Ryan surprised him with a cabin retreat in the Adirondacks, where they hiked and talked dreams, perhaps adopting a child. "We've built this life together," Ryan said, kissing him under starlit skies. The intimacy reaffirmed their choices, flaws and all. Back in Brooklyn, Tyler reconciled with Jake, setting boundaries. Jake joined an ally group, speaking at schools about his mistakes. A joint TEDx talk with Riot titled, "From Bully to Ally, A Father's Journey," went viral, praised for honesty but criticized for centering the perpetrator. Protests outside the venue highlighted divides. Victims' voices first. Riot addressed the backlash in a follow-up piece. Redemption stories aren't erasers. They're mirrors. This resonated with some, alienated others. Internally, he struggled with imposter syndrome. Was his success despite or because of the past? A new twist emerged when Ryan's ex-wife contacted them, seeking advice on her queer daughter. Ryan mentored her, closing old chapters. Meanwhile, Tyler's nonprofit expanded, partnering with Riot's diners for nationwide outreach. Jake donated time, coaching inclusive sports teams. But drama resurfaced with a lawsuit. A conservative parent sued Lincoln High for promoting homosexuality after Riot's speaking event. Jake testified in defense, a bold move that cost him friends. Media frenzy ensued, with pundits debating, can former homophobes be trusted advocates? Riot's family dynamics shifted. His parents, now elderly, reached out after seeing the news. We're proud, his mother said haltingly. Reconciliation was tentative, marked by awkward dinners where old prejudices surfaced. Riot forgave selectively, prioritizing his well-being. Romance flourished. Riot and Ryan traveled to Hawaii, renewing vows on a beach. Through every storm, Riot whispered, their love, tested by time, became a testament to resilience. Yet, societal backslides loomed, Supreme Court rulings threatening rights. Riot lobbied in D.C., meeting lawmakers, his story influencing policy talks. Jake accompanied once, a surreal alliance. Personal conflicts peaked when Tyler discovered Jake had donated to anti-LGBTQ plus causes years prior. How deep does change go? Tyler asked Riot. The confrontation at a family gathering was explosive. Accusations flew, tears shed. Riot mediated. Change is a process, not a switch. Resolution came through ongoing dialogue. Jake refunded the donations, committing to education. Tyler accepted, but warily. Riot reflected on his role, facilitator or enabler. As 2025 closed, Riot's empire grew, with a book deal chronicling his life. Titled Nourished by Adversity, it sparked book club debates on forgiveness versus accountability. In quiet evenings, Riot and Ryan dreamed of legacy, perhaps a foundation ensuring no child faced what he did. The book launch was a triumph, packed with supporters in a Manhattan bookstore. Riot read excerpts, voice steady, pain doesn't define us. Our responses do. Jake attended, clapping genuinely, while Tyler beamed from the front row. Post-event, a panel discussion turned heated when an audience member challenged, by feeding your bully's son, did you absolve the father too easily? Riot paused, then replied, absolution isn't mine to give. It's earned through actions. The exchange went online, fueling threads on restorative justice in queer communities. Some argued for stricter boundaries, citing rising hate crimes. Others saw hope in transformation. Life moved forward. Riot and Ryan began adoption proceedings, welcoming a foster teen named Sam, who was non-binary and bullied. Mentoring Sam echoed helping Tyler, closing circles. Jake bonded with Sam over sports, his growth evident. But doubts persisted. When a bill restricting LGBTQ plus education passed in Illinois, Jake lobbied against it, surprising everyone. For my son and for you, he told Riot. Gratitude mixed with caution. Riot knew change could regress. Ryan's career soared with a design firm focused on inclusive branding. Their home buzzed with love. Dinners with Tyler, Miguel, and Jake becoming routine. Laughter replaced tension, though debates lingered. A final controversy arose when the documentary aired. Critics panned it as forgiveness porn, while fans called it inspiring. Riot stood by it. Stories like ours challenge binaries. In reflection, Riot journaled. Choices shaped us, from surviving cafeteria filth to feeding with grace. His legacy. Dinners as bridges, love as rebellion. As the sun set on another day, Riot held Ryan close, whispering thanks for the journey. Is true redemption possible for someone who once inflicted deep harm? Or does society demand eternal accountability instead?